Vatican released a 48-page document taking on cosmetic surgery culture, looks maxing, and the Trump aesthetic. And Pope Leo approved every word. There's a part when I read this that I thought to myself, is Pope Leo aware? Like, does this mean Pope Leo's aware of clavicular? The fact that he, like, do you know what I mean by that? We have the Pope who is aware of looks maxing culture. And of course, a prominent figure in that is clavicular. You know, there's something about that that's just, it's just wrong. It's wrong. And the Pope understanding the Mar-a-Lago face, the new fascist aesthetic of looking like Laura Loomer or Kristi Noem. Anyway, I just felt that it was necessary to inform Laura Loomer that the Pope said that she's chopped and a total abomination. That her very existence, inside and outside, is a Christly abomination. The Pope called them all chopped. Yep. It is concerning to me how much attention clavicular still gets in a way that's way too sanitary, you know? All of the shiny profiles he's gotten, the way that people kind of seem to be forgetting what he's promoting, like the things that he's saying. And I'm not just talking about bone smashing. Okay, I'm not just talking about injecting yourself with meth. Like, it is deeply, deeply racist, misogynistic, hateful rhetoric. Let's not forget that. And another thing, too, is he basically went from this peripheral figure in the way that... It's killing me! In the way that Nick Fuentes did... So now he's so much more mainstream. And remember that these guys rely on, they have so many accounts who clip farm for them. Like that, they basically force themselves into relevancy through the clip farming economy. And then when that gains more steam, and then you have major mainstream publications who start profiling them, like they did for Nick Fuentes, like they did for clavicular, and continue to. And it's because they're interested in clicks. That's what it is, right? It's all about attention. This is the attention economy. What is going to get attention? And I don't know. What always happens is this, as I said, sanitation and reputational washing by not focusing, like losing the focus on that we should not be at all promoting these very dangerous figures. Feeding my children with clicks. I literally saw a video of clavicular saying I'm a rapist while a girl was in his lap and she didn't care on camera and everything. Oh. Some people online, leftists, are leaning too much into memes around him, which is normalizing him. Yeah, it's always a whoa. Okay. All right. Let's just let's remember what it is that these men are promoting, and as they're growing in notoriety, are becoming more mainstream popular. It's really bad. It's like you see it forming in front of your eyes, and there's not really enough actual and necessary criticism. No, like, hey, this is really, really dangerous rhetoric, what's being promoted here. Yeah, he promotes eugenics. I mean, he is very openly bigoted. Yeah, and I watch these guys gain more and more prominence, and I go, are we not able to stop this? Is this kind of just how it goes now? And then what that does is it incentivizes others to follow this tried and true path, right? It's like nowadays the most inflammatory you can be, the most like outlandish and over the top and extreme in every way, you are rewarded for. That video of Clavicular getting mad because they put cheese in his burger. Yeah, and I saw people being like, oh, I can save him. Oh, wait, why do I feel bad for him? And I'm like, oh my God, y'all. No. Jay Aubrey made a 2-hour video about him. So much more horrible shit I don't know about him. Dude's a monster. We should watch that someday. Shouts to Jay Aubrey, who's always reminding the people just how fucking terrible these internet figures are. Everyone wants an excuse to be racist, misogynistic, bigoted, but now can do it and make a bunch of money. It's also not just like wanting an excuse to be those things. It's fully going, oh, like, I don't think these are people who start off anti-racist, anti-misogynistic, anti-bigoted, but they are fully incentivized to be as extreme and absurd. And they see these guys, whether it's a Nick Fuentes or a Clavicular, whatever camp you're falling into. And they're like, damn, okay, I can do it too then. Scruggy Bear, thank you so much for the 5 gifteds. Sorry, I guess I don't have bone smashing to offer you, but thank you for the support nonetheless. And the other thing too is on, as far as what he is, as far as, him injecting meth and steroids and really whatever the fuck, anything. This is medically very dangerous. It's not just the open promotion of bigotry. It's also very concerning that this is being really kind of largely treated as a joke. But there are a lot of young people who are being influenced or will be influenced, How many times do we talk about how we are living in a culture where the pursuit of beauty has never been more extreme, the way that these aesthetics that also correlate with fascism are just very prominent in culture. I mean, the freaking Pope had to write something. The Pope, y'all. The Pope had to take on Mar-a-Lago face looks maxing in America's cult of the body. The thing too is I know more and more people who are injecting peptides, stuff like that. They're like getting it on the internet and just injecting it willy-nilly. In a sweeping 48-page document titled Quo Vadis Humanitas? Where are you going, humanity? The Vatican's International Theological Commission, with Pope Leo's explicit approval, has issued its sharpest critique yet of the cosmetic surgery culture that has consumed American public life. The commission warns of a widespread cult of the body marked by what it calls the frantic pursuit of a perfect figure, one that always stays fit, youthful, and beautiful. The Vatican's diagnosis cuts deeper than aesthetics. The theologians identify a painful paradox at the heart of the beauty industrial complex. The Pope has had enough of this shit, actually. The ideal body is exalted, sought after, and cultivated, while the real body is not truly loved, being a source of limitations, fatigue, and aging. Read that again. The real body is not truly loved. The document goes further, describing trends that reduce the body to biological material to be enhanced, transformed, and reshaped at will, with the dream of achieving living conditions that avoid pain, aging, and death. The obsession with surgical perfection represents something theologically urgent, the attempt to escape what it means to be human. The internet had thoughts. Asking Pope Leo what he thinks about preventative Botox done tastefully. The document connects the Mar-a-Lago aesthetic to a broader philosophical crisis, the same crisis that has produced the looks-maxing movement among young men, the explosion of weight loss drugs taken for cosmetic rather than medical reasons, and the normalization of surgical intervention as a prerequisite for public life. The Pope also goes in, while the commission goes in on AI. We risk creating a world governed by machines where the living God is replaced by a virtual God. On AI specifically, the document questions the use of algorithms when deciding whether or not to provide medical care, granting loans or mortgages, or providing insurance, or when preparing criminal cases in court or deciding on military strikes. As I wrote about earlier this week, Pope Leo has already moved to restrict AI in the church's own worship life, speaking out against AI-generated homilies, the concept of an AI-generated homily, and warning priests against replacing pastoral presence with digital convenience. While we're talking about the woke Pope, Pope Leo's Vatican newspaper is the only publication in the Western world to run the photograph of 150 Iranian girls' graves killed in President Trump's military strikes on its front page. I mean, I see this as consistent with the mainstream rise in GLPs, the disappearance of body positivity we saw in the 2010s, along with Silicon Valley types like Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, who funded designer baby startups. And as you're always talking about, Mar-a-Lago face and the push towards sameness. Yeah, and it's also this like grotesqueness. It's all there. It's monstrous. No baby is mogging me. So many children killed or harmed in just the last 3 years. And Western media, you wouldn't think that were the case, because that certainly is not what our Western institutions, what our Western media cares at all about. Nope. So, in a culture where the president's closest allies signal loyalty through matching cheekbones, where young men inject themselves with unregulated peptides to maximize their jawlines, and where aging is treated as a failure of self-discipline rather than a dimension of human experience, the Vatican's message lands with unexpected force. Your wrinkles are not a deficiency. You know, the whole thing, too, with this tech obsession, right? These tech billionaires who are obsessed with longevity, who are obsessed with immortality. It is so grotesque to put any effort and any emphasis on that when it's like life right now for a lot of people is getting harder and harder. Why are we focusing on really what is a move away from our focus on humanity, on like towards this world where we have more conversation on, I don't know, like a transhumanistic future where we're all like kind of robots, where everything is just run by, the world is just run by robots, rather than caring for people in this moment now. Right? Like, do you think people want to live, wanting to live longer when for a lot of people that just means prolonged suffering? When it means that it's not that their needs are being met, that would then encourage somebody to want to live for a longer time. It's like babies are being murdered right now, and we're talking about, right? You know what I mean by that? The future of humanity is not decided in bioengineering laboratories, but in the ability to navigate the tensions of the present. Pope Leo signed off on those words. Given everything he said about dignity, poverty, and the idols of power, the message could not be more consistent. Mar-a-Lago face is a symptom. The disease is a civilization that no longer believes the human person, fragile, mortal, aging, is enough. Damn, you heard it from the Pope. You heard it from the Pope himself. I don't know. I think this is a topic that I really need to, I really want to read more on. I want to read from people who are not just not promoting a world that we've handed over to artificial intelligence, like are actively pushing against that. I go, what? It's the Pope who's having to step up. The Pope who's having to step up and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second. I'm seeing all this stuff happening and I'm going, not on my watch. I was cooking earlier. I thought the Pope was endorsing this. Oh no, the Pope has come out against. The Pope has come out against against looks maxing culture, Mar-a-Lago face, body fascism, this pursuit of chiseled perfection, of plastic surgery being a now prerequisite to public life, of this this kind of negativity towards aging. You know, like one thing I think about a lot too are posts like this. Posts like this that I see all the time. Kim and Paris Hilton haven't aged a bit since they came out on the scene. Absolutely insane face cards at the age of 45. And again, it's emphasizing that aging is bad, right? That you should, especially if we're talking about women here, that you should be perpetually frozen in time. But also these women have had are constantly tinkering their faces and bodies. What are we talking about? You're forgetting a crucial aspect here, which is that somebody like Kim Kardashian's entire business resides in her entire aesthetic and how her face and her body promote products. This is not somebody who looks this way just naturally, just because. And it's how she has contributed to this culture of always seeking unattainable perfection. It's her entire brand. And the other thing too is these women are aging. Everybody's aging. And they don't look like they did when they were 20. And that is okay. You should be 45 and it's okay to look 45. Like there is no one way too of looking 45. Like that's another thing. Like what is the kind of predetermined markers of what an exact age should look like? but you cannot look 46. Uh-uh. I just don't know what we're doing. I don't know, man. And the thing is too, as people's, like, I look at someone like Clavicular and people who are following him and being influenced by him. And what they believe is that if they look like that and they can achieve that through peptides, meth, steroids, smashing their bones, whatever it is that's being sold to them, then that is how they will succeed. That it is, it's this promise of it's this promise of like the American dream now that is wrapped up in your aesthetic. It is now, if you look like this, then all of your problems will go away. And when people's needs aren't being met, it drives them to these extreme directions. That one dude that takes his son's blood, yeah, that's Brian Johnson. Tried everything and just ended up looking like one of them dudes from Alien Prometheus. Yeah. I don't know. It is this feeling of like being detached. I don't know.